to serve with heart and mind. One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Whoa. Ukurala, ayo. Igede. Whoa. Abia muyek. Whoa.
Ndị ọma ndị Enugu steeti, ihe eji mara ndị Igbo bụ ịgba mbọ, azụmahịa na ihe eji enyere ndụ aka dị iche iche. Kedu ka anyị si hapụ ihe ndị a were na-anọzi n'ụlọ kwa Mọnde ọbụla? Ọ bụrụ na ụmụ anyị agaghị akwụkwọ, ndị mgbere ejeghị ahịa, ndị ụlọ akụ apụtaghị ọrụ kwa Mọnde, kedu ka obodo anyị ga-esi wee gaa n'ihu nwee mmepe na ezigbo ihe ndị ọzọ dị iche iche? Ndị Enugu, ka anyị pụta n'ụbọchị Mọnde ọbụla ya nakwa ụbọchị niile nke izu ụka. Gọọmenti Enugu etinyego nchekwa bukpo maka ọdịmma mụ na gị. Ọganiru Enugu dị anyị n'aka, ka anyị jikọọ aka mee ka ọganiru ya pụta ife site n'ịpụta ọrụ, ahịa, ụlọ akụ, ụlọ ọgwụ kwa Mọnde ma ụbọchị ọbụla. My better Enugu people, God don't bless our state with plenty things. We be say, if we put hands together, our state go be ogbonge. But how it go be now? If we dey tanda for house every Monday, sake of say person wey no dey Naija, dey miss and give us. How our school, hospital, banks and market them go just close because of fear and laziness. Make we no dey listen to people wey no like our state. Make we join hands support government as it don't carry security come make our state dey safe on Monday and other days them. Enugu na we own now we go join hands make am work by coming out every Monday and every day. If we dey house every Monday, bank no go dey pay money, market sef no go open, bus and taxi where they enter road no go dey. People wey wan do business with us from other regions no go fit come. Make we shine our eye well make we come out every Monday come dey do our normal business as government don guarantee say security go dey bam bam. Make una remember rats no dey chop something wey im own a day awake. My people, together make we end sit at home for Enugu kia.
Do better thing. Money no dey come from heaven. Do better thing, money go come. Na true word that they tell you so.
Ndị Enugu steeti, ihe eji mara ndị Igbo bụ ịgba mbọ, azụmahịa na ihe eji enyere ndụ aka dị iche iche. Kedu ka anyị si hapụ ihe ndị a were na-anọzi n'ụlọ kwa Mọnde ọbụla? Ọ bụrụ na ụmụ anyị agaghị akwụkwọ, ndị mgbere ejeghị ahịa, ndị ụlọ akụ apụtaghị ọrụ kwa Mọnde, kedu ka obodo anyị ga-esi wee gaa n'ihu nwee mmepe na ezigbo ihe ndị ọzọ dị iche iche? Ndị Enugu, ka anyị pụta n'ụbọchị Mọnde ọbụla ya nakwa ụbọchị niile nke izu ụka. Gọọmenti Enugu etinyego nchekwa bukpo maka ọdịmma mụ na gị. Ọganiru Enugu dị anyị n'aka, ka anyị jikwa aka mee ka ọganiru ya pụta ife site n'ịpụta ọrụ, ahịa, ụlọ akụ, ụlọ ọgwụ kwa Mọnde ma ụbọchị ọbụla. My better Enugu people, God don't bless our state with plenty things. We be say, if we put hands together, our state go be ogbonge. But how it go be now? If we dey tanda for house every Monday, sake of say person wey no dey Naija, dey miss and give us. How our school, hospital, banks and market them go just close because of fear and laziness. Make we no dey listen to people wey no like our state. Make we join hands support government as it don't carry security come make our state dey safe on Monday and other days them. Enugu na we own now we go join hands make am work by coming out every Monday and every day. If we dey house every Monday, bank no go dey pay money, market sef no go open, bus and taxi where they enter road no go dey. People wey wan do business with us from other regions no go fit come. Make we shine our eye well make we come out every Monday come dey do our normal business as government don guarantee say security go dey bam bam. Make una remember rats no dey chop something wey im own a day awake. My people, together make we end sit at home for Enugu kia.
Do better thing. Money no dey come from heaven. Do better thing, money go come. Na true word that they tell you so. Time na money,
My better
Thanks for joining us again on another edition of Good Morning Coal City on ETV channel 50, Star Times 113, free-to-air TV, as well as Facebook Live at ESBS Enugu. The program brings you discussion on topical issues while showcasing amazing sights and sounds around the Coal City state. My name is Ngozika Mba. Michael is here. Michael, good morning.
Ozzy, thank you very much. Good morning, viewer, and thanks for joining us on the program.
All right, the first item we are starting with on our schedule today is the newspaper newspaper review as usual. So let's go. Okay, the first paper would be, Michael, are you set?
Yes, I'm set, of
So
course.
go
I'm
ahead with
you.
the Sun.
Okay, let's take the Sun newspaper. Okay, on the Sun newspaper, let's take the banner headline that says Niger war drums, ECOWAS under attack. Niger war drums, ECOWAS under attack.
You know, someone asked me yesterday if Nigeria would be going on a war with Niger Republic. I wonder what that was all about. But I mean, we have our own issues here. We have our own troubles.
But I really don't think the war in Niger is all about Nigeria.
Nigeria
I
and
think, it has to do
Niger.
with
Now
the
it's
ECOWAS.
ECOWAS, but our president is the chairman of ECOWAS. And
well.
directly or indirectly, we are bordered. And we have bordered. We share borders with this country. Okay, let's not dwell on that. Are you moving on to the next paper?
Okay,
Should I take that?
Okay, take
the Punch newspaper, please. The Punch newspaper, Nigerians in Niger beg federal government for evacuation over impending attack.
Wow.
Okay, so I think it is still the same story. The scares are there. If ECOWAS is really, really on point, attacking, okay, trying to mitigate, neutralize the soldiers, the military junta, then of course there's bound to be a war. So Nigerians who are residents there are begging the federal government to come to their aid. I think evacuation will be in order. I can move on to the next newspaper.
Okay, let's take the Saturday Independent. On the front banner headline, I have Election Tribunal, all eyes on judiciary. All eyes on judiciary. You know, I've seen bags, even clothes.
It's the newest cliche in town.
So funny. Nigerians can be very crafty.
Okay.
You know?
Actually, we are trying to live through our hard times, you know. It doesn't have to bother us or burden us. Now let's move on to the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian newspaper for today. Michael, take it.
Okay, it says concerns as more Nigerians fall prey to fake bank alerts.
Yes, I saw something on that this morning, very early this morning, when someone was sharing alerts that she had, and she was asking if those alerts were real or fake, and a number of persons reacted that the alerts were fake. I think this is something we will need to talk about on Good Morning Cold City. I think that is something we need to talk about so that we can open the eyes of the society to this this type of fraudulence.
And definitely, when such a alert comes in, maybe you will be losing something in your account.
I can't say how these things work.
Wow.
Just there. This day.
Okay. This morning says AU, UN, EU raised the alarm about Bazoum's detention condition and safety.
Okay, it is still on the military junta operating in Niger. Okay, we have enough of that. Let's also look at the Tribune. Take the Tribune.
Okay, on the front page, Niger. Russia warns as ECOWAS defense chiefs meet in Ghana.
The same story.
But excuse me, why would Russia be warning?
I think that is something that needs clarity. I have had a couple of write-ups on that we really need to study the interest of Russia in this matter. So let's not dwell on Niger issue like I informed you earlier. Let's move on to Daily Trust for today.
You can take that.
Daily Trust, how power play gang up forced El-Rufai out. You know, I was amused when I saw an editorial saying that El-Rufai backed off, that declared disinterest in his in ministerial law. But that was not the issue. The DSS stayed on his appointment and one or two other persons. So it is not about him. It was about, I think it's bordered on
The security of the nation.
okay,
People
is
now
that?
felt that it's
Okay.
becoming a threat. Some call it
Because
a
of
religion
his
of Jesus.
utterances.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure he has done beyond what he has said. That's the personal opinion anyway. Vanguard today, Nigerians reject ECOWAS war plan, back NAS. Niger could recall that National Assembly kicks against the president or actually did not approve the president going with our troop to, counter the attack at Niger. So now, I think Saturday Vanguard conducted opinion polls, and apart from that, notable Nigerians also spoke in that direction, and they say, tell President Tinubu to tackle the petrol crisis and other woes, say ECOWAS lacks the authority to invade a sovereign nation. Is that really the truth? Will going to war be in our national interest? Lawyers, activists, others speak. I just hope we still have the time to, okay, but let's just conclude on newspaper review at this point. Thank you for watching. You're still on Good Morning Coal City. In a short while, you shall be joining us on the discussion segment where we will be hosting the team from Enugu State Internal Revenue Services to talk about the newly introduced e-ticket scheme. Let's know what that is all about in a moment. Thanks again for still being there watching Coast City. Good Morning Coast City on ETV channel 50. Remember to also watch us on Start Time channel 113, free to air TV. We are also live on Facebook on ESB at ESBS Enugu. Chris is also here, and together we will handle the discussion segment. Our topic will be Enugu State Unified e-ticket scheme. My guest is, my guests are, first of all, I will be introducing the newly appointed Enugu State Internal Revenue Services Executive Chairman in the person of Miss Chilotam Angela Namane. Angela, good morning.
Good morning, Ngozi. Thank you for having me around.
All right. I also have the technical consultant to Enugu State Internal Revenue Services, who will be joining us in that conversation on Enugu State Unified e-ticket scheme. He is Shegun Olukoya. Shegun, nice to have you here.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
All right. We are taking off. I know that what we are built to talk about is the Unified e-ticket scheme. But then Miss Angela is a new appointee here, and she was among the very first persons to be appointed by the Enugu State Executive Governor, Dr. Peter Mba. And she is young, she is female. I am sure that something necessitated that appointment. Miss Angela, briefly tell us why the Executive Governor thinks you are the best choice to handle revenue internal revenue services.
Thank you, Ngozi, for having us here. And then I will say that the executive governor actually chose me for this, possibly because of my experience and then my achievements in my career. Before I joined the Enugu State Internal Revenue Service, I was with the Federal Inland Revenue Service, and as an assistant director of taxes and also a tax controller of the Tax Incentives Management Office, Lagos. Tax Incentives Management Office, Lagos is the office that is in charge of all the companies that are enjoying one form of tax incentives or the other, including the NGOs, those that are enterprises in the free trade zones, and companies that are enjoying pioneer status. And then we cover all companies in the West, Lagos and all its environments. So I think His Excellency has considered all this before appointing me as the Executive Chairman of Enugu State Internal Revenue Service.
All right, so she is actually a professional tax collector. I hope that is what, I hope it's not out of place if I call her that. Okay, so she is an experienced revenue manager. All right, on your assumption of office, what did you meet on ground? I mean, you have not handled this kind of position before, and you did not work in Enugu State Internal Revenue Services. You were at the federal. Now you are in Enugu. What are some of the things you met on ground?
Okay, when I joined Enugu State Internal Revenue Service, I met people who are actually, you know, I would say that they are willing to do something even though they don't know how to do it. So I met people who are people I can actually, you know, put in place structure very well and guide them, and they'll be able to do the right work, and they'll be able to help in the generation of revenue for Enugu State.
Wow.
I also met a system that is not actually effective, let me put it that way, or and also not efficient. So I met a system that we have leakages here and there, and then a system that is not allowing us to be able to harness all the resources that we have in Enugu State. So that's actually what I met.
Okay, I'm going to take a clue from what you just said last. A system that was non-effective, not functional. And I want to, you know, I was meaning to ask if that was part of the reason the scheme was introduced by Enugu State government. But I will have to ask Shegu now, what is this scheme expected to achieve? I mean, the unified e-ticket scheme. What is the essence? What's the reason we are doing this now?
Thank you very much. As you know, tax collection covers both the formal and informal sector of any economy. This unified e-ticketing system is targeted at the informal sector. Now, the informal sector are people in typically the transportation, markets, artisans, people who earn money on a day-to-day basis, you know, not the structured workers. And because they are informal, it is often difficult for government to try and collect money from them. It's also small amounts, but over a large number of people. So what His Excellency and the Revenue Board have decided to do is try and structure that and make it digital, unlike what you had in the past, which was typically paper-based and created room for leakages. So that is it in summary.
Okay, before now, it was paper, like you rightly said, and even if you were not living in Enugu, you lived in Nigeria where paper ticketing was the norm or is still the norm, the means of revenue generation for the government. And because of this, there are leakages of funds. Now, before the announcement of this e-ticketing scheme, we heard, I think there was also an announcement asking the stoppage, you know, put to a stop the collection of funds from all corners, vehicles, business premises, and stuff like that. But I can tell you authoritatively that these things were not stopped. Who is meant to ensure that these things are handled? When government announce something, is there not supposed to be a form of a task force that will ensure that this collection stops with immediate effect? What happened?
Okay, so that process that has started, immediately His Excellency announced that there were structures on ground to try and ensure that those who are still doing it illegally were brought to book. And a number of them were brought to book, driven largely by the Revenue Service. But as you know, it is a large state. You may not be able to deal with all of them at the same time. But a lot of work is ongoing on that. And simultaneously, the introduction of the new ticketing system, which has just started, will now lead to a total reduction or elimination of those existing illegal collections.
Okay, now is there a date of commencement?
Yes. So there was a soft launch of it on Friday. Again,
Friday, which date was that?
yesterday.
Okay.
A soft
11th.
launch, engaging with stakeholders, because when you are making such a change, you have to start in a very structured manner. So there has been a lot of engagement with various stakeholders, the various ministries, the unions, the associations, and all those engagements are leading to a commencement of the process. You will soon start to see it from next week out there. There has also been engagements with, like I said, the ministries who are supporting all this process of revenue collection.
Which are
So
the
some of the
ministries.
ministries, so some of the ministries and agencies, for example, if you think of the transport sector, the Ministry of Transport is a key stakeholder, responsible for policy formation, policy formulation, and a lot of other things. If you take the markets, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry is a key stakeholder in that. ESWAMA, the sanitation agency, is a key stakeholder. All those are stakeholders and several more who today are collecting, or up until the beginning of this scheme, were collecting revenues in the various sectors. But the problem is you have so many people going to the same individual to collect government revenue. With this new scheme, you are going to have a situation where the revenue board takes charge of that and makes it easier for the taxpayer. So it will be one collection
covers
digital.
for everything.
Everything.
Other revenue that a business person is expected to pay.
Correct.
Okay.
That is the end destination, such that these complaints of multiple taxation, 5 people coming to one market person, or 3 people or 4 people coming to one taxi driver or bus driver, changes. That is the long-term direction, and everybody who needs to get a component of that tax will get it. So we are moving to a consolidated system of revenue collection, consolidated, driven by the Enugu State Internal Revenue Service.
Okay, just a quick one. You made mention of the informal sector now.
Yes.
And then the question that will pop up in anybody's mind, especially for those persons who've been on the ground here in Enugu over years. I don't know if you are aware of the fact that from time to time, government seem to concession these revenue collections on contract basis to some big elites, individuals in society, who now begin to meet up with a target and begin to give kickback to the government and all of that. Are you aware of that one?
Yes.
Okay, let me answer that, please. Let me take that. Okay, that's why we said that the model that has been functioning before now has not really been effective. It has not worked over the years. So the model, like you said now, we used to award contracts, give it out to a consultant who manages this and then remits so amount of money to government accounts. But the question is, how much will be remitted? How much will be remitted at the end of the day? And you find out that we are losing fund. So it's not business as usual. Now what we want to do is to do our work the way it should be.
So in other words, you're saying you're going to put an end to that
just
system.
Understand. Let me take it one at a time.
Go ahead.
So we engaged a technical partner. We are not just letting the technical partner go do work and remit to us. No. The revenue authority is now part of the system. We are going to be working together. We are collaborating with the technical consultants. So we are part of it. We will be part of the system, the agents, the ticketers, and also the enforcers, we will have a platform. What they are providing for us is the technical platform with which we can be able to do our work ourselves. So we
Okay,
are the
so
one
you
doing
mean-
our work now. We'll be able to track whatever sales we are making. And whatever sales we are making will be going straight to the state IGR account. So there's nothing like a consultant collecting money and relating to
Or
the government.
agents, because
Yes.
I was going to
So-
ask how this new scheme will be implemented. So there are no middlemen, no agents?
No, no. There are middlemen. How it's going to work is this way. We have agents. In fact, all those people that have been making sales before now, they will also sell for us. They will now they will work directly for the government. So we will have the agents. We will have that layer, the agents, the ticketers, and also the enforcers. So people will be on the road. They will register with us. We will give them social benefit numbers. That's the tax identification number for Enugu State, and register them on our portal. The agents, the ticketers, and enforcers. So they will earn income from Enugu State government, and pay their taxes, because everybody ought to pay their fair share of taxes.
Including your middlemen?
Yes, yes. So, and then it's going to be, we are trying to provide a civilized, platform for them to carry out their activities now. So it's not as if we are going to do away with the agents and the ticketers. No, we are going to use them. The government will be in charge of the work now.
Okay.
Yes.
So there won't be leakages, there won't be
Yes.
money going into private pockets.
Yes.
People
So how,
earn what they should
let me
earn.
also explain how that works again. So what we intend to do is that the e-ticket is an electronic ticket. There won't be paper ticket again.
Okay.
So our agents will be there to buy the electronic ticket from us, from the government. And when they buy from us, they will remit straight to our IGR account, pay for the tickets. And when they pay, they will now sell this electronic ticket to the ticketers, who will be in the field working for the government, So, but while we are selling to them, we sell at a discount so that they'll be able to earn their commission.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not done with that.
So that's how it's going to work.
The mark of difference between
Yes.
the old order and the new system is the fact that we are going digital,
Yes.
not necessarily changing the pattern.
Okay, no, that's not just the difference. We
What's
are
the
going digital, and the revenue authority is now in charge of the work. And then we are making payments of those tickets straight to the state
IGR.
account.
Okay, but
Yes.
before now, are you saying that that is not how it has been done, other than the digital aspect?
Yes.
Okay. Are there other measures? I'm still with you, Chairman. Are there other measures that you are deploying to block revenue leakages and help show up government revenue projection?
Yes, of course, there are other measures.
Because there was in the governor's manifesto during election campaign, he said he was going to shore up the state's IGR from a certain percent to a higher percent. And I'm sure that the very first port of call would be your office. So how else are you going to block leakages other than this e-ticketing?
Okay, if you remember what my technical consultant actually said when he was making his comment, he said that this e-ticketing is targeted towards the informal sector. And so we have other platforms we are also deploying for our formal sector. So the essence of doing that is to help us, integrate all the tax administration processes, so that we'll be able to automate them, starting from filing of returns by the taxpayer, payments, collection of those taxes, to enforcing those taxes. So we are going to be automating that also. And by doing that, we'll be able to have our, the various reports that will enable us to monitor compliance of taxpayers. For instance, when you talk of payee, pay as you earn, my observation is that many employers of labor in Enugu State actually deduct this payee from workers, and they don't remit it to the government. So the platform we are having now will enable us to actually have an overview of the compliance of each of the taxpayers, the tax agents we have in Enugu State, the various companies operating in Enugu State. Enugu State is not just a civil servant state, as some people would think it is. We have a lot of institutions, private institutions. We have a lot of companies. We have banks. We have hotels. We have filling stations. We have a lot of companies that we can actually tap into. Talk of the ICT, we have gaming, a lot of gaming activities going on the internet.
Okay.
So we have a lot of sectors that
That's
we can actually
betting.
harness. Yes,
Betting.
yes, we can actually harness from, to get our revenues from. So when we deploy this platform, even in our formal sector, it will enable us to have an overview at every point in time and know who to actually, focus on and who to, write or go and visit and carry out enforcement on. Then in addition to that, we are also working seriously on our people, because you can't actually do without the people you are working. They are the most important resources you have. And so the people, they are very important. We are actually trying to see how we can build our capacity. And it's very important to us because we know that we need them to be able to operate the technology that we are going to deploy at the end of the day. So we are actually passionate.
And by your people, you mean workers?
Workers, our staff, yes.
How about the public? The sensitization of the public?
We are actually also doing, we've started on a sensitization program. So one of the first things I did when I resumed is I tried to, identify a particular group of people. I invite them, and then I sensitize them, I educate them. And also we've gone to several radio stations also. We use that opportunity, like I'm here today. Anybody who is listening to me will be able to pick one or two things, So we use every opportunity we have, every avenue we have to sensitize the public, because it's very key. If they understand why they have to pay tax, it makes the whole, tax system more effective for everybody. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You just mentioned it, and so I probably will have to ask you, because you've had several meetings with critical stakeholders since you assumed office. What is the essence of this meeting, other than sensitizing them?
Yeah, the most important reason why we actually have meetings with the stakeholders is because in doing this work of tax collection, we can't do it alone. We need to collaborate with other stakeholders. We need to collaborate with them. We need them to work together with them. And collaborating with them, we need to sensitize them so that they will understand what their works are and how we need to do that. So basically why we have to meet with stakeholders is for us to collaborate and partner with them in doing this work.
And enjoy ease of revenue generation, actually.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, just a quick one to the chairman. I don't know. Apart from the informal sector now, the formal sector too, talking about government agencies and institutions. I hope you know lots of corrupt practices goes on there. So are you aware of that one?
Yeah.
Are you aware?
Yes.
Because there are some government agencies, talk about the MDAs, where what you just made mention of now happens, where it goes on there year to year. Workers are made to pay their taxes, but then it's not remitted to government. I'm talking about the formal sector now, government agencies and institutions. I don't know if you're aware of that one. It's not just about the informal sector now.
No, come again. I didn't get you.
You made reference to the fact that some agencies do collect the taxes from their workforce, but it's not remitted. But now I'm trying to draw your attention to the fact that it's not just within the informal sector alone. It equally goes on within the formal sector, government agencies, MDAs. Okay. And if you're aware of that, do you have what it takes to fight them head on?
Yes,
we don't want to start mentioning names.
We are not actually fighting anybody, so don't use that term.
A tax collector is a fighter.
So no, we are not fighting anybody. If you understand the strategy, the best strategy you have to adopt, you understand that you need to actually sensitize the second person. You need to make the person understand why he has to pay taxes, even the MDAs. So nobody is left behind. So we have, like the new structure we have put in place, we have a particular coordinating director who will be managing the MDAs. And so they will also be partnering with our AG, Accountant General's office, to see that, we are able to look at our data and see how we can update them and possibly do the right thing.
I'm actually looking at the points where if there are defaulters, they are sanctioned, just as a measure. Because I don't understand why someone will know the right thing and will refuse to do the right thing. You know, so if it's about babysitting them and pampering them, you know, maybe it's not going to work. If I know that you will have to come and plead with me, I may stay for 1 year, 2 years without remitting the payee that I've actually deducted from the workforce. That's the way I say it. All right. So there is also this angle about taxpayers. We all know that governments all over the world generate funds from basically taxes, taxing the general public, taxing businesses, taxing civil servants and public servants and what have you, in order to provide certain amenities and infrastructure. Now, there are people, I mean, we live here, we know the truth. There are people who think that they shouldn't pay taxes, you know. Maybe they look at their phones, they look at ability, the condition, the environmental condition of doing business, and they look at these things and think that they should not pay taxes. What are you saying about this?
Okay. Thank you, Ngozi, for asking me this question, and I think it provides a better opportunity for me to also sensitize people again. So the key word is sensitization. You need to tell people why they have to pay taxes. They need to understand that paying tax is not just for you to put something down for the government. It's your civic obligation. If you see it as your civic obligation, it's just like somebody who goes to the church. You can't go to church empty-handed. You need to drop something to show appreciation to God. And even if you go to your village meeting, you have something you put down for the running of the meeting. And so that is how it is when it comes to taxes. You know, paying tax is our civic obligation. It's the way we actually, you know, contribute our quota in building our state. Every government of the world, if you look at them, those that have succeeded, they have not done that without, you know, having a very good and effective tax system. And so our case will not be an exception. For us to build our state, the governor does not have to use his personal money to run the state. He needs money to be able to run the government. He needs money to be able to provide the basic amenities. You know, he needs money to be able to build roads and provide, you know, health facilities, rehabilitate infrastructure. And so where will the money come from, if not from taxes? It has been proven that tax is the sustainable source, the only sustainable source of generating revenue for every state in the whole world. And so that is why we have, you know, we have come to the point where we recognize the fact that we all have to pay a fair share of our taxes. Our tax system has made it in such a way that it is progressive. The more you earn, the more you pay. The lower you earn, the lower you pay. And that is what makes it, you know, ensures equity in the tax system. So if we don't have a tax system that ensures fairness and equity, then we have not started. And so we recognize the fact that somebody who is, you know, selling in the market will pay his own tax according to his own income. And then the person who is working in the bank will also pay according to his own income. The Personal Income Tax Act has made provision. There's a tax band from 7% to 9% to 11% to 15% to 19% to 21% to 24%. So as you earn, that is how, the higher you earn, the first 300,000 earns 7%. The next 300,000 earns 9%. The next 500,000 ends, you know, just like that, until you get to the highest band.
It's actually, you're making it scary to
No, it's not scary. No, it's that, I mean, it's not scary. So it's just like, and we also provide, the law provides for exemption for people who earn below certain amounts.
Like what amount?
Yes.
Like
if
what
you
amount?
earn below 300,000, you know, per annum.
Chris, relax.
You are-
He's not
you are-
talking
you
about
are-
what you
you
said.
are exempted.
You are exempted. Yes, you are exempted.
From paying tax.
paying tax.
That's a good point.
So
if you're earning beyond
below 300,000 per annum, yes,
you are exempted from paying tax. All right,
so when you look at it, you will see that the system, we are trying to make it, if the only person who pays tax for the state is the man who works in the bank or the man who works in the ministry, you can see that the system is not fair enough. So that is why everybody has to contribute their fair share of taxes so that we can build our state. It is very easy, it is very simple for us to say, governor has not done the road, governor has not done this. What has he done? Then what have you done as the citizen? What have you done? Have you been able to put something on the table for the government? How do you pay your own taxes? Even the Bible recognizes that we pay tax because it says, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar and to God what belongs to God. And so if you don't pay your taxes...
And even Jesus paid his tax.
If you don't pay your tax, you do not present yourself as a good citizen. So it is an obligation that we all have to accept.
All right. So
and you can only hold your governor accountable when you have done your part. What gives you the moral ground to accuse your governor when you have not paid, you've not played your part as a citizen of the state? So let me rest it here.
All right, Shegun, you've been meaning to itching to say something.
Yeah, so something that I think is also very important to say with the new system that the Revenue Service is introducing is also transparency. It is one thing to pay your tax, but it's also something to know that that tax you paid as a taxpayer is going to government. So the new system is also introducing a USSD code that any taxpayer, if he dials that code, will see the payment he has made. Okay. Now that code is *8011 *042 hash. 042 is the code historical Enugu code. So *8011 *042 hash. As a taxpayer, if you dial that code and you put in if you are a transporter, you put in your plate number, you will see the ticket that you paid for.
Okay.
If you are in the market and you put in your phone number or your ESBN number, you will see the tax you have paid.
Okay, so now that is the way that your what we call task force will be functioning. When you request for someone's ticket, it doesn't have to be a paper now. The person provides a certain number, you log it in and see that this person has actually gotten an e-ticket.
Correct.
All right, so Chairman, is going to be a part of your sensitization too.
Yes.
This code that Shegun just mentioned. Before we conclude on this conversation, I would like to go a bit personal. Just a couple of weeks before the inauguration of this current administration, Chairman, you launched a book, Understanding Nigerian Taxation. Can you give us an insight, a bit of insight into taxation issues that your book addressed? And how they can be applied in our own locality?
Okay, thank you, Ngozi, for that opportunity to talk about my book. I was thinking that this presentation would have restricted it to the matters of the state, but the book is about taxation, and the name is Understanding Nigerian Taxation. So my intention, of writing this book is to be able to, in clear terms, explain matters with respect to taxation, so that when anybody who is reading this book will be able to, you will appreciate the concept of tax and taxation. Tax, like I have been saying here, is all about raising revenue for the state, for running our states, and then the taxation itself, the process of doing that's looking at the tax system. So, and this book covers extensively matters with respect to the introductory aspect of taxation. It is divided into two parts. It's a 24 chapters book anyway. Yes, 24 chapters book. The first part covers the introductory part of taxation, explaining the various concepts that you can think of, and even theories with respect to taxation. And then looking at Nigerian tax system, looking at the components of the Nigerian tax system, the Nigerian tax law, tax administration, and basically, and looking at the bodies like FIRS, State Internal Revenue Service, Joint Tax Board. Then we delved into the tax proper. So basically that book, my intention is to be able to do something that will, tax type by tax type. So basically, that one covers extensively companies' income tax.
So if I need to be
Yes.
that responsible, paying taxes and all, I would need to read,
read the book.
take time to read this
Yes,
book,
yes.
Understanding Nigerian Taxation.
Taxation, yes.
All right, thank you. And that's the very brilliant Ms. Chilotam Angela Namani, chartered accountant. I wish I can begin to reel out all her degrees and accomplishments. But we are narrowing it down to why she is here. She is the executive chairman, Enugu State Internal Revenue Services. Miss Angela, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us here. Thank
All
you.
right, Shegu Olukoya is also here. Shegu is a technical consultant to Enugu State Internal Revenue Services. Thanks for being here also.
Thank you very much.
My name is Ngozi Kamba, and I anchored this segment with Chris Aniwogo. Chris, thank you for partnering with me always.
Always a pleasure.
All right, at this point, we'll take a break to go look at the sports around Coal City, sports news, sports information with Chibuzo Moye. And we will conclude this program. You may not see my face again. We'll conclude this program with Yan, with MC Ayaya. Stick around.
Wow. Isn't your baggage I get used for? Excuse me. Isn't your baggage I get used for today? I'm not anybody that control you. I'm not one. Wow. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. You know, at times we work and then we do and we overdo ourselves. Hi. Remember you are still in ETV Enugu on Smart Sokodo and Patches when you go to Stanford Bridge. Yeah. Here to keep your head cool and a lot of other things. Mind you, just one thing. God is great.
6 reasons you've been drinking water wrong. Water. All humans need it to survive. In fact, 2/3 of your body is comprised of the stuff. And while drinking water is undoubtedly part of your daily diet, there are ways it can actually be harmful. And the weird part? You may be drinking it the wrong way all the time without even knowing it. Stay tuned to learn more about how to get the most from your water intake. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and turn notifications on to join us on the bright side of life. 1. Chugging water like there's no tomorrow. So, you've just gotten back from a particularly grueling gym session, and the first thing you do when you get home is chug a big, tall glass of cold water. Hey, you're parched, and it feels like you can't get the water into your mouth fast enough. What could possibly be wrong about that? Actually, a lot. First of all, when you chug water down at record speeds, it fills you up really fast, causing you to pee. This means your body doesn't have time to store the water to break down food and absorb their nutrients, helping to fuel different organs and systems you need to function. Additionally, drinking water fast and in large amounts dilutes your saliva, an important element in digestion. Saliva helps stimulate the gastric juices in the stomach, and if the water you're consuming doesn't carry enough of the saliva, your body won't digest and absorb it the right way. But if you're super thirsty, what is the right way to drink water? According to Leonard Smith, a gastrointestinal, vascular, and general surgeon, sipping 2 to 3 ounces of water at a time slowly throughout your day should do the trick. That means every hour, sipping the recommended amount should quench your thirst. Another reason why chugging water is a bad idea? There's actually such a thing as drinking too much water. And if you're really thirsty, say after a workout or spending time outside and feel the need to chug copious amounts of water, you can potentially die from something called hyponatremia. This can happen when an abnormally large intake of water dilutes the sodium in your body and fills it up with